we're going to take a little bit of pool blue and we're going to mix it with some white to lighten it up, and that's a tint. So when you add white to a base color, it is a tint. And a nice light blue color. Take your canvas, you're going to start on the top, go back and forth. It's easy to handle because there's a nice wood base in the back. And with these smaller canvases, when we're connecting them, you have to have a nice base on the side as well. You can do it pretty quickly because you have a good grip on it. Alright, all three done. Make sure you don't have any drips, make sure it's even. We're going to let that dry. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, after they're dry, you're going to take your canvases and you're going to connect them. You want to have them lined up one on top of the other, okay? Just for purposes of sketching out your flower, okay? So the first thing what you're going to do is take a piece of chalk, and around the middle of the first canvas, a little bit to the right, you're going to go ahead and kind of make a parentheses, and just do it right on the first canvas, carry it down to the second one, bring it down to the third. And it's a little bit of a curve. The second one you're going to take is you're going to go right, probably almost to the top and to the right of the center of the second one, and you're going to do another line like this. So it will kind of come down and maybe crisscross at the bottom. Right now, that's the stem of your flowers. Now you're going to do the top of it where the tulips, you'll see the tulips. Right here in the middle of your parentheses that you started, you're going to go ahead and you're going to make a U. Don't make a curve on the side, just make a U. And kind of have it angled like you had your parentheses. I'm doing this a little bit darker so you can see it, but you should keep it light so that only you can see it. Then here on your second one that came up through the center of the second canvas, you're going to do another U and have that angled another way. Tulips are not going to grow perfectly straight or in one direction. They're flowers. Anything in nature is not going to be perfect in size or shape. Okay, so now you have your two tops of your flowers, your tulips. Now, leaves for tulips do not just come out from the side, they come from the base of your flower, from the stem. So you want to go up to the top here and just kind of create a little bit of a curvy line like that. And then go back, so point up at the top and just run another one that kind of twists like that down to the base. They often twist, so you want to kind of have that look to it, and it gives you an opportunity to put two different greens in there. For this tulip, for the flower that's in the second panel, just take one and do a curve like that. Point it, and we'll just bring this one straight back down like that. So don't worry about the top shape of the petal of the tulips. What we want to do is get a nice base shape to it, and the top of it we're going to work on with the actual paintbrush. You don't have to have everything drawn in, you just really need to have placement for this. you want to have this tulip with the second flower come up, that it's just peeking up over the third panel. So with some white paint now, we're going to kind of use it as a primer. Even though your flower is not going to be white, it's going to be a color, you want to do it in the white first to go on top of the base background you have. So you can use a flat brush, or you can use a wide round one, and you want to go and you just want to fill in that white. And like I said, don't fall into the trap of making it kind of curvy at the top like you're making a tulip. You're not making a tulip, you're just giving it the base here first. This is the actual shape of it. And tulips are made up of layers and layers of petals. So just keep your hand relaxed. Doesn't have to be perfect. And just give it that coat of paint. Come down to the second one. Like I said, we're just going to have this one pop up just a little tiny bit into the third canvas. Right over the chalk. And we're filling in the white there. I'll make this one a little bit bigger up here now. Okay. And we are going to let that dry so that we can go and put a base coat over it. Okay, so I'm still going to use the same brush I used for the white because it won't matter. You can just kind of wipe it off a little bit. All right, we are going to use, I'm going to make my tulip fuchsia. So I'm going to go in with this pink, and I'm going to go right over it. The white provides a primer there, so you're not going to get the color dulled with the blue. Fill that all in with the paint. Now, acrylic paints dry fast, so you kind of want to work it quickly because we want to combine a couple different colors too. Same thing up here. Go along here, outside. Okay. So while it's still wet, I'm going to take a little bit of this pink out. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of red. Pink is a shade of red, it just is darkened. What we want to do is start to make these petals more distinctive. And the middle petals are going to be the darkest. So let's add a darker version of this pink. I'm going to start creating the petals. So let's go in here and start to make this a little darker just down in the middle. And you can kind of fade it out as it comes to the bottom. You can make it darker if you want to. Go back and grab some more red if you want. Grab some more red and really make it darker. It doesn't have to be perfectly even either. It can be some red blotches, some blending like that. You can kind of have it come up from the sides like this, like the flower's kind of bleeding into different petals. You just want to have it soft. You don't have to have hard edges on this. And this is where you can kind of play with the color. Wipe that off a little bit, go back in if you want to and grab Some more pink here. And now grab some white. That's a tint because you've added white. You go back in and you can put some light values to this now. There's one petal coming up from here, there's coming on one here. And you can keep working this as long as the paint is wet. You can keep going in there and working the colors that you want. I'm still going to keep that center the darkest. Maybe go back in and grab some of the dark again. On the edges. You're just kind of dabbing it because you want to have these really, really soft strokes because the petals are delicate. Grab more red if you want. Just keep going back and adding it. Just fool around with it until you get it where it looks like the petal in the center. And then you can wipe off your brush. You can take another one. You can take even a small, like a small round one maybe. Just go in and give it some little bits of white, just straight white on it. Just kind of randomly put some in there, even into the red part of it. Just quick little strokes like this. And you can go back in with this one and just soften a little bit more. Grab some more red. Again, keeping that in the center as dark if you can, because that this is pretty good. I'm going to take a round brush now, okay? I'm going to take some of this straight red, kind of create a line here. Kind of harden up those edges to show the difference between each petal. Like I said, even from the base of it, give it a couple little strokes as the color is coming from the bottom. Like one petal here, maybe another petal here. I need some more red. Have some straight red come up from the bottom. Just fool around with the color. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be, you can keep going back in and you can add lighter, darker. Okay, so we're going to let that go back in and give it a hard edge here again. Okay, while that is kind of drying, we're going to start with the green. So we'll take some green and we'll start with a lighter version of the green. We'll take a flat brush and you're going to go in and you're going to find your stem again, which was our parentheses. Start here and just continually bring it down. It does not have to be perfect. A stem is not perfect. From there, our second one here. Remember we had it come down here and it was kind of crisscrossing at the bottom. So just get that in place first, and then we'll go and we'll add a little bit of, add some little tiny bit of black to make it a shade. Now, never put black right into a color. You always just want to add a little bit to the paint to get it the color you want. I'm just taking a tiny bit there. I'm going to mix that in. That's making a darker version of this lily pad green. We still need a little bit darker, so I'm going to grab some more. You don't want to get it too dark. You see how that can kind of get muddied? Just be careful with it. If you need to, go back and add more of your green. Okay, so now you have a darker version of that lily pad green. Go in, and with the tip of it, not using the wider part of the brush, the thinner part of the brush, just go and kind of make another line next to your stem. Now try and keep this thin. Don't make it a super wide stroke because tulips don't have wide stems. Just kind of go right on top of it, but you want to see it on the edge. And let's cross it in front of the other one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take a flat brush that's a little bit bigger than the one we're using for the stem. We'll take that green. We're going to go to the top where we had it sketched out, and we're going to do that kind of curvy line coming down and crossing in front of it. Keep following that. We'll do the other one. Maybe we'll keep it behind the now you can make it darker again if you need to. Okay, so now we've kind of gotten this all filled. And keep the top of those leaves pointy because that's what they are. So we'll go back in and we'll keep using some of this black with green. Get it darkened up, but make sure you mix it really well so that you still see that green in there. You don't want to have it looking black. Okay, so go back in and do one side of it, kind of split it down the middle, and just do one side of it a darker green. And what you want to do is do one side here, and then that can be the lighter part of the leaf, and so make this part of the leaf, this one, a dark one, so you have some contrast here. I'm going over the stem there, so I'll have to go back over and get it. Okay, now, I think I'll put, maybe we'll have this, another leaf coming over this way. Go back in. We're going to go without the chalk here, girls, so let's go back in and maybe just put the tip one here to give some color down here. I'm going to fill that in again. You're really just playing with the greens. Okay? So then go in and we've got our darker values with it. And keep it pointy. Okay, you can also grab some light white then. You can go in there, pour out that really white or light, and maybe put it a little bit here, maybe a little bit there. What you're doing is you're playing with the color. And the good thing about it is if you don't like it, I don't know if I'm completely sold on that green, go back in, wipe off the brush, go back in and get some of that bright again. Go back in and get some really dark ones down here. I have the base of it dark because it's coming up from the center, so. Again, I lost that stem there, so I'm going to go back and take the green with a little bit of white and go and do that one again. And have that stem reappear. I put it right back in over the white. A little bit here too, maybe. Now you can go ahead and you can fool around with different, if you want to get it darker on one side, you can do that. And I think we're just about done. A little bit darker green there. To the stem. This is the stem coming back down, so I want that darker. I think we have our 3 canvas tulips.